First of all, I want to thank y'all for staying around for the affirmative action part of the show. In honor of the 50-year Freedom Riders, they put me last. I actually thought I looked pretty good with my little outfit on until I went in the kitchen and one of the servers asked me for some fries. Is my fries up? Where's my fucking fries, dude? Anyway, thank y'all again for coming out. Like Leon said, I am Carrey. I'm from New Orleans. I just came back from New York, and I love being back home. I love being back home in the South. From August 29, 2005 until recently, I've been from one end of the country to the other end of the country, from pillar to post for 5.5 years with no place to call home. And I am so glad I am back home in New Orleans, where I belong. I'm happy about that. That's right. Now, let me say this. Katrina didn't have anything to do with that. I had warrants. Yeah, they were looking. I had a court date on August 30th, 2005. How convenient was that shit right there, you know? And the thing is that everywhere I go around the country, people ask me the same question. Were you in New Orleans when the storm hit? Yes. And I have to explain over and over and over about Katrina. Well, let me explain it this way. I tell people this. I was hoodwinked. Most of us were. We were set up. We were bamboozled by our then beloved Mayor C. Ray Nagin and his Chocolate City Committee. We were always told you need 72 hours to evacuate this city properly in case of a major storm. Well, 72 hours was a Friday before Katrina. Well, on Friday, he came up to the podium because, you know, he came by himself. He did his mayoral things. He had a beautiful gray Armani suit on. He was freshly shaven. His head was perfectly buffed. And with confidence, he was at the podium and he said, there's a storm in the Gulf, but it's not coming here. It's going to Pensacola. Have a good weekend and do what you do. Well, black folks, that's what we did. It was Friday. We got our check. We cashed our check. We spent our check. Well, then on Saturday, he came and he had the chief of police standing next to him. He didn't have the suit on. He had a shirt and tie. He had a 5 o'clock shadow and a little bead of sweat right here. And he said, we still don't think the storm is coming here. We think it's going between Mobile and Pensacola. And see, here's where it got tricky. Because the mayor said this, and I quote, but you might want to have your duckies in order. See, I should have known shit was up when the mayor used the term duckies. Now, black folks, we were pissed off because, see, Mr. Mayor, yesterday you told us we could spend our duckies, and that's what the fuck we did. So how the hell are we going to get out of here now? All the white people were confused, was like, honey, he's talking this Ebonic shit again? Do we even have a duck? We got a gerbil and a cat. Can we get in the contraflow with this shit? That's all I'm trying to find out. Well, see, then on Sunday he came up and he had on a wife beater. He hadn't shaven for 3 days. He was sweating profusely. He had the city council behind him, the governor, the chief of police, the fire chief, meter maids, cafeteria workers, the judges, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. He had a priest. And when this motherfucker right here come out, it's time to get the fuck up on out of there. And he walked up to the podium and he like, Poop. Y'all might want to get the fuck up on out of here. So I went to my mom and her 2 old sisters. I'm like, look here, Mom, we gotta go. We're not leaving. Mama, we have to leave. We're not leaving. Mom, the mayor said we gotta go. We're not leaving. I turned the TV on and said, look here, Mama, look at the TV. Do you see the Gulf of Mexico? She said, no. Exactly. If the storm is bigger than the Gulf, we gotta get the fuck up on out of here. The mayor just said it. We can't go to Texas. We can't go to Mississippi. We gotta go to Canada. And if we caught in Canada, well, fuck it, we just caught. It's like, we're not leaving. Where are you going? We're going to the Superdome. No, Mama, we can't go to the Superdome. Mama, the Superdome is bad luck. Look what it did to Saints for 30 years. It took a category 5 storm to blow the damn roof off so all the evil spirits can leave so we can win a fucking Super Bowl. Now this is for the fellas. Fellas, I don't care what your age is or whatever, I had to man up and stay with those 3 old ladies. But I found out one thing, manning up is overrated. I stayed. The storm came and the storm went, fine. But the next day when the floodwaters came, I looked at those 3 old ladies and I looked at the floodwaters. And I looked at those 3 old ladies. And I looked at the floodwaters. And I looked at those 3 old ladies. And I thought, well, they led a long, productive life. So I went to Texas. And I want to thank the rescue workers that found them on the rooftop. That was great. I'm playing. I took my mom with me. I had to rescue 2 old ladies. But the more I tell the story, the more I realize something. It was me. It was me. See, I was in New Orleans when Katrina hit. I left here and went to Texas, and I was caught in Hurricane Rita. I left there and went to Burbank, California, and was in the middle of a forest fire. I went all the way across country and was in Baltimore, Maryland. They had the worst snowstorm in the history of snow. I went from Baltimore to Chicago. I wasn't off the plane 2 hours when the temperature dropped 50 degrees in less than 2 hours. I got off the plane, it was 41. 2 hours later, it was -9. How the fuck do you prepare for -9 in less than 2 hours? I'm in Chicago, pissed off at everybody. Like, how are you letting this happen? How can you live up here? Where is the mayor? Where do you keep -9 drawers at? I'm in Walmart. Do you have -9 drawers up here? My nuts have frozen to my thighs. I don't think that's supposed to happen. I leave there and I go to New York. I was in New York 1 week when a building collapsed next door to where I was living. Somebody blew up a recruiting station in Times Square. 2 giant cranes fell 20 stories off of buildings and killed people. The governor was up there fucking everybody. They replaced him with a black man, but he was blind. And then they landed airplanes in the Hudson River like that shit was normal. Did you see that on the news? They said it was a crash. It wasn't a crash. It was a perfect landing. The nose was up. The tail was down. They were serving drinks on the wings of the planes until the rescue boats came. And when they played the transcript, I knew it was a white pilot because he was calm. It was like, Captain Scully, this is the tower. You had a bird strike. He's like, that is correct. Do you want to come back to LaGuardia? No, won't make it. Kennedy? Mm-mm. Teterboro? No, we can't get there. What are you going to do? We're just going to land in the Hudson River? Excuse us? Hudson River, 5 minutes. We'll be serving drinks on the wings until the rescue boats come. I'm going to tell you right now, if it would have been a black pilot, he would have turned into Samuel L. Jackson. Captain Jackson, you had a bird strike? No shit! I was wondering what the fuck that was. You want to come back to LaGuardia? Fuck no. Kennedy, motherfucker, that's further than LaGuardia. Teterboro, I don't even know where the fuck that is. So what are you going to do? We're going to die. That's what the fuck we're going to do. Everybody on this motherfucking plane going to be in the motherfucking Hudson River in 5 motherfucking minutes. And will somebody tell me who keep putting these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane in the motherfucking first place? So now I came back to New Orleans the day before the Saints played the Seahawks in the playoffs. And just in time for the river to crest. My luck. But I'm glad to be here, you know. I'm glad this is what's the date? May 26th or something like that. I'm still working on my New Year's resolutions. Anybody else? Just me? From 2010? I only have 2 left. One of them is, I'm no longer going to strip clubs. See, you're happy to hear that. In the state of Florida. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not going to strip clubs in the state of Florida. I was doing a show down there, and after the show, I was told that you need to go to this strip club. It's the best strip club in the state. And when something is the best, I have to see it for myself. Sir, it's called the Green Frog. It's on Highway 90, Fort Walton Beach, Florida, just in case you won't see for yourself. I can't even make this stuff up. The youngest stripper in there had to be 47 years old. She was in there showing me Polaroid pictures of what her titties looked like in the 80s. And you're like, you should have been here. While we're talking, they bring the feature stripper up. Again, I cannot make this up. It's called the Green Frog, Highway 90, Fort Walton Beach, Florida. She had to be 64 years old. I'm gonna say 64 because I believe 65 is the official stripper retirement age in the state of Florida. And she didn't even have a real stripper name. Anybody know stripper names, real stripper names? Yeah. Destiny? Fantasia? Well, no, it was none of those. It was none of those. The DJ brought her up, though. He was like, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage next. Give it up for Gertrude. And here comes Gertrude. And she had hip replacement surgery, so she couldn't wear stilettos anymore, so she had some tube socks on and stuff. And she didn't have that real pretty stripper perfume, you know the kind you like. She didn't have that. She had Bengay and glitter dust on. And she put her titties in my face, and now I got an eye infection, and my eyes are closing up shut. So I can't see the drive home and stuff. I can't go home and explain this shit and stuff. So I had to stay in Fort Walton Beach, Florida a couple extra days, so I'm no longer going to strip clubs in the state of Florida. And finally, my last New Year's resolution is this. I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm coming down. I'm a big boy. I was up to over 300 pounds, and I'm trying to get down because I got tired of people saying I look like Forrest Whitaker and stuff. And not the new Forrest. They're talking about the last king of Scotland Forrest. I'm tired of looking like that. But what it is I got caught up one night in this club, and I met this girl, and she was a big girl, and I didn't care because I love women, period. I don't care. And I was feeling her, and she was feeling me, and I'm like, hey, girl, what you want to do? She said, I want to go back to your place and take a bubble bath. That's what she said. Now, I realized she didn't say it with that voice, because that would have been a problem, but that's what she said. So we went back to my place, and I, popped in some Luther, because I like Luther Vandross, okay? Now, you might like some Frank Sinatra, but you do you. He looks like he likes Justin Bieber, so you do you. And when she wanted some candles lit, but I couldn't find the little cute candles y'all like. So I went to the kitchen and I found some birthday candles. I had a 2-in-1. I lit my 2-in-1 birthday candles and I had my Luther on. Then I went to the laundry room and I got my Tide to make my bubbles for my bubble bath. So I put my Tide. Got my Tide. Because fellas, it's either Tide or Dawn dishwashing liquid. You know that, right? Now, here, fellas, this is a public service announcement for the ladies first. Ladies, if you meet a man and he got perfume, scented candles, and bubble baths, you better bring him back where you found him because you're going to have a problem on your hand the next day. That's all I'm saying. Public service announcement for the fellas. I had to switch to liquid Tide because the powder don't always dissolve. And the grains will get caught in the crack of your ass and cause a severe Tide rash. That ain't sexy no matter how you sum that up. Now, here's where I should have paid attention in school, because this became like a math problem. I didn't realize how small my apartment tub was and just how big her ass was. And it was like putting that square peg in that round hole. But she managed to get in the tub, and I had a little space behind her, so I got in the tub behind her. Well, see, then all the water came out of the tub, and we formed a suction and was stuck for 3 days before anybody realized our fat asses was missing. Now, do you know how embarrassing it is? Your mama got to get the landlord to open up your apartment to find 2 fat people stuck in the tub that didn't have any water in it. Now they're calling the police, the fire department, and the paramedics to extract our fat asses out the bathtub. People are pointing fingers at us like, that's the fat man right there. Apartment 2B, that's the fat man. Little bitty children, that's Mr. Fat Man. I'm like, fuck you, Ray Ray. Now, no, I shouldn't have cussed him out, but he hurt my feelings. That's all I'm saying. Then when I get back to my apartment, I got a note on the door saying I'm not going to get my deposit back because I fucked up the bathtub. And 2 weeks later, Ty sent me a nasty letter with a coupon in it for gain saying I need to switch my product. Y'all, again, I'm Carrey B from New Orleans.